is that this was only an idea until these brave people joined me in the process. Otherwise, it would just be me sitting in a room talking to myself, which no one wants to see. When I was a kid, I had two trademarks, specific things about me. I could sing, and I cried all the time. I was a really sensitive and anxious child, always afraid. And the messages that I got from the world were that I needed to be different than I was, that the world didn't like sensitive people, that people were going to be annoyed with me or frustrated by me or generally overwhelmed by the amount of emotion that I put out into the world, by how much I cared about everything. And so growing up, I built a really hard shell around myself. I got tough, I got mean, I got angry, I got cynical, I got jaded. I realized that if I was going to be safe, then I had to be protected. And the only person that could do that was me. And that made a very angry young woman, a very apathetic young woman, a woman who secretly believed that she wasn't worthy of love and happiness and being just the way she was. I was afraid that if I stood up in front of you being the world, and if you found out who I really was, that you wouldn't love me, that you couldn't respect me. If people found out who Erin really was, they would leave. A few years ago, I decided that I was going to start standing up anyway. And the thing that I discovered in standing up in front of rooms full of people over and over and over again and telling you what was true about me is that you loved me more, that you respected me more, and that you desperately needed to hear what was true about my experience so that it made you feel safe to talk about your own. This is a very simple thing, this project. Storytelling is the oldest art form. We've been doing it for millennia. We've been doing it since before we had language. But something happened through the course of our culture in which we commodified the human condition. And our stories came to mean less than what we produced. And our value became tied up in how much money we had and what we looked like and where we lived. And this project for me is a return to the basic fundamentals of our own humanity. And that is that I'm going to tell you my story and you're going to listen. And if you want to come up to me later and tell me your story, I'm going to listen. But ultimately, this is a relationship between the person standing up here and you in the audience. I believe in the power of story for change. I believe that when we are kinder to ourselves, when we learn self-compassion most of all, then we can see the good and the beauty and the value in every person, no matter who they are and what they experience. And I could not be more grateful to have these magnificent human beings along on this journey with me, to have Dean along on this journey with me, and to have all of you. You are as important to this process as any one of us. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for giving us your attention, and we're going to get on with the show.